not everybody is like conspiracy theory in the same way. You know what I'm saying? Mine is a little bit different. Now, when it comes to, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I did notice that a lot of the censorship stopped once I went in there and I stopped using those functions, okay? Because that's how they would find out if you said something that was they.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, because if they can, if you've requested closed captions, obviously they will review the content and create text out of it. And in some cases, I've even seen translation, being able to translate directly. So yeah, they're going to. So I think for the purpose of computing power, because if you imagine every single video being uploaded, being put through that translation and captioned, then would be really resource hungry. Unless you request it, then they wouldn't do that.
Well, they're even from what I've heard, even with AI, there's still backlog.
Of course, yeah. Well, I don't know. I've not seen any figures or any sort of specifics on that.
Well, usually for me, whenever I get in trouble, it takes about 3 days, maybe 4 days before the AI catches it. So
by what, Wednesday, Tuesday?
Yeah, like well, actually, this last one they caught it pretty quick. So, and I'm not doing the whole the questionnaire thing. Freaking get out of it. I'm just going to take the warning. If I get a strike, I'm going to take that too. And then eventually, if it gets bad enough, they'll just delete my channel. I'm cool with it. I'm not playing their game anymore.
As long as you go with the content.
You know, I mean, because it makes it even worse if you turn around and get freaking flagged for something you know is just complete freaking internet police, and then you voluntarily go in and freaking do a freaking questionnaire on how you're supposed to behave on YouTube. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I want to see one of these questionnaires. I've not come across one.
Well, that's because you don't get flagged on YouTube for posting.
I don't create any content on YouTube. I'll leave that to you.
I can actually screen share it because I think I got one. Let me screen share it with you, and you can check it out for yourself. Because I've got one on. I've got one on YouTube right now, and I can share it with you. It's on my strange stories. And that's the messed up part. It's on strange stories. Like I've seldomly ever put this on here. Now see, this is the, can you see this?
Channel violation.
Yeah. Active community guideline strikes. Now I've got a warning. Now if I turn around and I put this up, it says, when you receive a strike, it can be one of two types. Copyright strikes are issued when we remove content because a copyright owner sent us a complete and valid legal request asking us to do so. Then a community guideline strikes are issued when we remove content because it violates YouTube's community guidelines. So this includes but is limited to instances of nudity or sexual content, violent or graphic content, harmful or dangerous content, or spam.
We know the definitions of harmful, and just go back to that.
Now this right here is your content was removed due to a violation of our community guidelines.
I was just thinking on the legal copyright notices, because we know that there is an entire industry of fraudulent copyright notices.
Mhm.
We both know that. That's
Yep.
been where we put it on. But carry on.
But it says you've received a warning. If you select take action, you can appeal it if you think we got it wrong. And you can also take an optional training to remove the warning after 90 days. Now, the thing of it is that's not optional. If you want it gone in 90 days, you have to take the freaking training. This training.
What does the training actually consist of?
If you do the training, it asks you multiple questions and you have to answer them. If you get through the whole thing, then you can freaking have it removed in 90 days. If you don't get through it, they'll let you just start over and do it again at any time.
I would like to see the wording of the
I'm
training material.
not doing it.
Well, yeah, I just would like to see the warning.
No,
See how petulant they are being, if at all.
now over here on this side it says if this happens again, if you violate this policy again within 30 days of completing the policy training, you'll get a strike. You won't be able to do things like upload posts or live stream for 1 week.
I really don't like that. When I was moderating things like the Minds Chatting, my view was either keep that person, allow that person to carry on, or ban them outright. No 30 days, no 5 bloody weeks. Ban them outright.
All right.
I'm not a parent.
Right.
And really, this sort of training then really goes and raises the entire point of YouTube, Google wanting to become your parent.
Yep. Now it says medical misinformation policy, and it says no, YouTube reviews all its community guidelines as a normal course of business. In our 2023 blog post, we announced ending several of our COVID-19 policies, and we have now retired the remaining standalone COVID-19 policies given the reduced burden of disease. Our broader medical misinformation framework continues to apply to content related to infectious diseases, including influenza and measles.
Okay, let's think about that one. Given the reduced burden of disease, in the UK, COVID-19 vaccines are still being provided to certain demographics. People, I believe, people with severe sort of disablement and elderly. I believe that's still true. So I disagree. And we. Yeah, and what was the other thing? Also, didn't they get a lot of egg on the face with their COVID-19 policy? So, yeah.
Well, YouTube goes on to say that they don't allow content that possesses a serious risk of egregious harm. Content that poses a serious risk of egregious harm by spreading medical misinformation that contradicts local health authorities' guidance about specific health conditions and substances. In some cases,
that's a contradiction then, because Switzerland during the COVID-19 period had a complete different approach to most other countries, and they were still pushing the WEF's, the more bigger, well, sort of they're the bigger rhetoric onto countries like Switzerland. So they've just lied. I'm calling YouTube, in this case, a liar.
Well, the thing of it was, it's like they're making it out like I actually, for the person in who actually spoke this stuff, was telling people, look, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to take, and stuff like that. But the truth of the matter was, is that's not how it played out. Like, in the whole conversation, nobody was saying this is what you need to do. You know what I mean? They were just giving their own experiences. You know what I mean? But YouTube decides freaking that because they're giving their own experiences and how they dealt with it afterwards, that they are giving medical misinformation out to other people.
And also, is it really YouTube's job to decide what possesses a serious risk? Internationally.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I would argue that they are being extremely arrogant there.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Now, in some cases, we may make exceptions for content with educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic context, including content that is in the public's interest. This policy includes the following category: prevention information and treatment information. Note: YouTube's medical misinformation policies are subject to change in response to changes to guidance from health authorities. There may be a delay between new guidance and policy updates, and our policy may not cover all LHA guidances related to specific health conditions and substances. Now, local health, yeah, of course. Local health authorities does not include the World Health or the WHO, the World Health Organization. They're pushing the World Health Organization on citizens here in the United States.
Argument.
You know. And they're saying, and they're able to get away with that because this doesn't have to do with regulations. It has to do with YouTube's freaking community guidelines. This is their stance on it, and this is how they feel about it, and it doesn't have to do with any kind of government policy or not. That's how they're getting away with it.
So in that case, during the COVID thing, did they use geolocation, IP location, to actually state which videos were allowed in which countries?
Well, this goes back to a previous conversation we had where I told you it has to do with their laziness and their freaking lack of wanting to layer their freaking terms of services and things of that nature. This is a lazy approach, you know what I'm saying? Instead of having to deal with all that, they can freaking avoid having to worry about what the laws say, and they can say, this is a part of our community guidelines. This is what we are going to enforce because this is how we feel about it. So
they do create broad terms of services. It does change from country to country.
Well, that doesn't apply to their freaking community guidelines. Yeah. You see what I mean? None of that applies to their community guidelines. It says what this policy means to you. Don't post content on YouTube if it includes any of the following: prevention misinformation. We do not allow content that promotes information that contradicts health authority guidance on the prevention or transmission of specific health conditions, or on the safety, efficacy, or ingredients of currently approved and administered vaccines.